Franz Schubert was a prominent Austrian composer who lived from 1797 to 1828. Although he died at a young age, Schubert left an indelible mark on the world of music and is considered one of the most important composers of the early Romantic period. Schubert's music was known for its beauty, lyricism, and emotional expressiveness, and his works continue to be widely performed and studied today. Schubert was born in Vienna, Austria, and grew up in a musically inclined family. His father was a schoolmaster and amateur musician who taught him to play the piano and violin, and his older brother taught him composition. At a young age, Schubert showed remarkable talent as a musician and composer, and he began writing his own music as a teenager. Schubert's early compositions were heavily influenced by the classical style of Mozart and Haydn, but he quickly developed his own unique voice as a composer. By the time he was in his early 20s, Schubert had already composed a significant number of works, including several string quartets, sonatas, and song cycles. Despite his early success as a composer, Schubert struggled to make a living from his music. He worked as a teacher and a musician for hire, and often relied on the support of his friends and family to survive. Nevertheless, he continued to write prolifically, producing some of his greatest works during this period. One of Schubert's most famous works is his song cycle Winterreise, which he composed in 1827. The cycle consists of 24 songs, which are set to poems by Wilhelm Müller. Winterreise is known for its stark emotional intensity and its exploration of themes of loneliness, despair, and mortality. Schubert's output was not limited to song cycles, however. He also composed symphonies, chamber music, and operas, among other works. One of his most famous pieces is the Unfinished Symphony, which he began writing in 1822 but never completed. The piece is notable for its mysterious and haunting melodies, and it is widely regarded as one of Schubert's greatest works. Despite his prodigious talent as a composer, Schubert was plagued by health problems throughout his life. He suffered from syphilis, which was eventually fatal, and he also struggled with depression and anxiety. Nevertheless, he continued to write and perform until his death in 1828, at the age of 31. After Schubert's death, his music fell into relative obscurity for several decades. It was not until the late 19th century that his work began to be rediscovered and championed by musicians and critics. Today, Schubert is widely regarded as one of the most important and influential composers of the Romantic period, and his music continues to be performed and celebrated around the world. Schubert's legacy as a composer is characterized by his gift for melody and his ability to express deep emotions through his music. His works are notable for their lyricism, their harmonic richness, and their profound emotional depth. Schubert's contributions to the development of classical music continue to be studied and appreciated by musicians and audiences alike, and his influence on the genre cannot be overstated.